We've lived in a number of houses through our life together, between living in Asia and the few places we've lived in the USA. And every time we lived in a place, there were always things we liked, but there were things that we wished were more personalized to accommodate our needs. And when we finally moved back to the States and bought our house, we thought, that's just great, and this is where we want to live in. And we lived in it and realized that it wasn't. And as we just continued on that voyage, it was evident that nothing we found did what we wanted to do.
We knew that building was going to be a huge endeavor, and we were concerned about what a big project it was going to be. And we looked and looked and looked to see if there was a house, some house somewhere that was already built that would suit our needs, and we couldn't find anything that would work for us. And so we finally gave up and decided to actually build.
As Steph and I continued to research and look and dig, we had a binder about this thick of all the things we wanted and how we wanted things to work. We knew what we didn't want, which was a spec house. We knew it wasn't about expensive finishings and expensive furnishings and all the expensive things that make it look pretty, but it doesn't function right. And we knew we didn't want something that was super complicated, where you had all kinds of dials and valves and infrastructure you had to manage and deal with. And so as we continued to research who was building high-functioning, high-performance houses, we kept landing on Hammer and Hand.
One of the neatest things about the Pumpkin Ridge Passive House project from the very beginning was that the clients, Brian and Stephanie, were very much aware of what Passive House was, as opposed to a LEED certified house or an Earth Advantage house or a program affiliated with the Department of Energy. And I think they understood more than most folks how meaningful a change it is and what a kind of paradigm shift it is. The most exciting thing was really, though, being able to collaborate from the ground up on a very nice piece of land that Brian and Stephanie had with an architect that we brought to the table, Scott Edwards Architecture. A very talented architectural firm. It was a great team, it was a great collaboration.
What we tried to do is design a home that would be passive, but yet look like something that you would maybe conventionally see. And be unique in its own right.
The most inspiring thing I found about the project was that we could move Brian and Stephanie and their two younger kids, early teens, into a passive house and just see how it performs.
Our old house, my son's room, was boiling hot in the summer. It was freezing cold in the winter. We were always futzing with thermostats and trying to regulate heat upstairs, heat downstairs, cool upstairs, cool downstairs. It was painful.
Normally in the fall, in our previous house, I would wake up in the morning, I would wake up cold, and I'd get in the shower and I'd get out and I'd be cold, and I'd run around the house and I had my thick sweater on, and then I'd get in the car. Here I wake up, I put on my t-shirt, I'm not cold. By the time I actually get into my car, I've been running around so much with the normal getting kids ready for school, getting breakfast, whatever, that I'm practically sweating by the time I get in my car. And I'm never cold, and it's really nice.
It's very quiet. It's incredibly quiet. The way that the guys put the house together, the way that the house works, the way that everything functions. It's when you close it all up and nobody is, or everybody's inside, and no matter what's going on outside, we don't hear it, we can't tell. It's amazing. Putting your hand over an outlet and feeling cold air coming in, going up to your windows and feeling the cold. Dealing with all the things that you deal with a normal house, when you know that 90% of those can disappear if you put a little more thought and a little more attention into the engineering of the house. You have a house that's really comfortable, that you really enjoy, that you can stay in for the rest of your life, and that you don't want to leave. I don't know if I can say that for any other houses I've ever lived in.
It doesn't make any sense not to build a passive house, just because, especially in an environment like this in Oregon, where, you know, we have some hot, we have some very cold, and it makes it really comfortable all year round without any effort on our part. And yeah, in the long run, it just makes a lot of sense financially and physically.